Dragon Age Inquisition plays at a refreshingly slow pace. In an era of gaming defined by live chatting on Twitch, or hundreds of guns to unlock in Call of Duty, and Skinner box-inspired game design philosophies for mobile games, Dragon Age Inquisition runs at a relaxingly calm pace that takes a little bit of time to get adjusted to. Once you're accustomed to the island lifestyle pace of Thetis, Dragon Age Inquisition's characters and stories will keep you hooked for the 20 to 40 hours for the main story gameplay. Dragon Age Inquisition isn't a fully open world, but rather comprised of 10 independent maps, with each unique environment filled with its own potential for adventure and danger and loot and hidden items. Within each zone, there were tons of dungeons to explore and mysteries to solve, and doors locked with hidden keys, or by some magical power that you had to have a specific teammate with you to unlock. And you'll frequently run into wild enemies well above your current level as well. During my preview time, I started taking notes on areas to return to when I was strong enough to take down wild dragons or bears or boars. In the first area of the game, the first zone called the Hinterlands, I stumbled on a level 12 dragon while I was only level 5, and this dragon easily wiped my entire team with just 2 or 3 basic attacks. But the size and scale of Dragon Age Inquisition is a blessing as well as a curse, and completing 100% of the game will absolutely be a chore. There were way too many meaningless side quests that overshadowed important objectives. Every map I explored had the same dozen rift gates to close, the same ocularum skulls to stare through, which when used marked another half dozen or more uninteresting shards for you to collect, and tons of requisition orders to fulfill, such as collect 10 iron or kill 10 rams for their meat to feed a village. And with no easily discernible way to judge the importance of a quest within your journal, I found myself wasting a lot of time on trivial fetch quests, simply by accident. Regardless of your experience with the Dragon Age franchise and the storylines, the premise is simple. There's been a tear in the world called the Breach, and it's your job as the Chosen One to figure out what the Breach is and how to stop it. Your character, also referred to as the Herald of Ondastre, for your heroics during the hour-long tutorial mission, conveniently has amnesia, so major characters will forgive you, either the character or you, the player, for asking dumb questions. Personally, I haven't played either Dragon Age Origins or Dragon Age 2 since they first released, and have forgotten everything about the stories. Finer points of the complex storylines in the world of Dragon Age are told in a natural style that only BioWare and Bethesda can really pull off. Either through listening to Cassandra and Varg jab each other repeatedly for personality deficiencies, or NPCs prejudging you because of your pointy ears, or through reading intimate journals found in abandoned mansions. Every piece of the Dragon Age Inquisition story feels well crafted, whether it's main story or side quest or hidden piece of trash laying on the ground. The fast-paced combat ended up being my favorite feature of Inquisition, primarily because of how quickly you could switch up the style. Pressing up or down on the D-pad instantly switched you to one of your teammates, and with a well-rounded team of, let's say, an archer and a mage and a backstabbing rogue and a tanky, two-handed sword-wielding warrior, the variety of skills and tactics that you could use just seemed endless. The platforming, however, left a lot to be desired. In fact, it fucking sucked. Jumping around either while on a horse or trying to scale a mountain felt clunky and stunted and just unfinished and unpolished and unnecessary. There is one aspect to the combat that I personally hated, and that's the overhead tactical combat view. There are 4 different difficulty settings to choose from, and the higher you turn up that difficulty dial, the more you're going to have to use that overhead view. With the tactical camera, you pause the fight and plot out each teammate's next move, slowing down the pace of the game even more. Now, I know that this is a fan favorite feature, a alliterative edition of the Dragon Age series, but I just found that it slowed the pace of the game down way too much. Personally, I found like a sweet spot of action and challenge by never using the tactical camera and choosing the normal difficulty setting. If you're looking for the most hardcore experience within a game, within Dragon Age Inquisition, you're absolutely going to have to use this tactical camera all the time. Inquisition also has a completely separate co-op mode, which unfortunately I didn't get to try. It was canceled at the last minute. Co-op has its own levels and loot, and it's completely independent from the single-player campaign. But I was told that when you hit the max level with the character in co-op, you can essentially prestige that character, resetting the level, but also putting them in the single player story, but just as a cosmetic, tertiary side character, someone that you can talk to, not as an additional player to join your Inquisition or your team. So, to sum up, I think Dragon Age Inquisition is a slow-paced RPG in a fast-paced world, which I think makes this game stand far and away as one of the most unique experiences this holiday season. It's launching on November 18th for the PlayStation 3 and 4, the Xbox 360 and Xbox One, and the PC through Origin. You can also get your hands on Dragon Age Inquisition 5 days early and play a 6-hour trial of it with an EA Access subscription. I'm not completely sure what that costs or how that works, but it's a new service that EA is offering. And all the progress from the trial can be carried over the full release. Big thank you to EA and everybody involved with Dragon Age Inquisition PR guys for inviting me out to San Francisco to get this hands-on preview and this extra hands-on time with this amazing game that I cannot wait for the full release for. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe for more Inquisition videos and hit that like button on the way out. Thanks for watching, and game on.